know who you are. You've been watching over me my whole life. I know you're there. Your shadow, it's been following me ever since I was small. Don't be afraid.
Did you ever think about wanting to play a princess when you first started your career?
When I was little, all the time I wanted to be a Disney princess just to, like, as a job. I thought that, you know, when I grew up I was just somehow manage, you know, to figure out a way, how could I be one? I never thought about being one kind of when I started, like, through movies, and then this came about and I'm like, I can actually accomplish like my lifelong goal of being a Disney princess.
Angelina Jolie seems like she'd be super intimidating to meet. What was your first encounter with her like?
Well, the opposite. I mean, the first time I met her was she was wearing her normal clothes. I don't know how they're not normal either, but not out of costume. She's a very disarming manner, you know. Because I think she must know that everybody's kind of nervous to meet her. Mm-hmm. But she came in the room with a big smile and, you know, she kind of knows the absurdity of all of it as well. And then we just had about a 20-minute sort of chat on our own about stuff, I was about my wife, she was talking about her husband, which really is, of course, Brad Pitt. And it was just really nice. I didn't know I was going to meet her that day. It was kind of a surprise, and everyone around me started saying, like, she's here, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, it's happening. So I turned the corner, and there she was. But immediately we both just, like, kind of jumped on each other and gave each other, like, a huge hug. Oh. And she said, we're going to have so much fun working together, and she shook my shoulders, and yeah, it was really fun. I know you're there. Don't be afraid.
I am not afraid.
Then come out.
Then you'll be afraid.
No, I won't. I know who you are.
Do you?
You're my fairy godmother.
Tell us about the horns. Why did you guys decide to give her these horns?
First of all, there's a symbolism in horns of, you know, evil, and I think it's the way that they worked with her face. It's the way that the collar worked with the horns and everything that makes it a very close, iconic, you know, resemblance to the image that we all know of Maleficent.
Well, one of my favorite scenes was obviously the fight scene.
Yeah.
I mean, Angelina Jolie already has tons of experience fighting on camera, but what were filming those fight scenes like? Did it affect you at all while you guys were filming?
Afterwards I kind of, it's you know, where I'm from in South Africa and how I was raised, it's kind of quite old-fashioned with, like, you know, you would never, ever, ever hit a woman in any way, under any circumstance. I have a major problem with that personally, and so it's probably the toughest thing that I've done as an actor was to sort of get to that point of like, wow, now you actually have to sort of physically go into a battle with a woman. You know, she's magic and whatever the case might be, but just for me personally, my alpha male side would more, you know, want to just attack a man who I saw hitting a woman. You know, I didn't know him. You know, if I saw it in a restaurant, I saw a guy slap a woman, I would get up and want to rip his head off.
Right.
So that's my primal instinct, is that.
Right.
So it went very much, you know, against.
I mean, she's kind of badass. I would be scared to fight her.
She's hugely, of course. And Angie has this vulnerability, and, you know, she puts on this whole thing, but she does have that feminine quality to her. You can justify that. You know, that's the point. You can justify it in the movie. She's powerful, she's magic, she's whatever. But, you know, just personally, I don't know. I'm learning in acting that you sometimes get to a point where you're like, I don't know. Do I have this in me, you know?
What a glittering assemblage, King Stefan. Royalty? Nobility? the gentry, and how quaint. Even the rebel. I must say, I really felt quite distressed at not receiving an invitation.
You're not welcome here.
Oh dear. What an awkward situation.